What's up, guys? My name's Brandon. Welcome back to the Snipe Life, where we talk about creativity through the lens of Christianity. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for watching our last video and for giving us so much support on that last video. It really means a lot to me, and it really helps me to move forward with everything. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, just a few things that I'm thinking about as I'm working through my first EP. So I want to walk you through 5 things that I'm doing in this EP to help myself get this done within just a couple of weeks. I'm going to be recording, mixing, and mastering as best I can just within about 2.5 weeks. And then from there, we'll move on and we'll release it no matter what state it's in at that point. I really want to just get it out there and show people, how I create. And more than that, I want to prove to myself that I can put stuff out there that people will like it and that they will see it and that I can get over that fear, because I think that's the biggest thing for me, is conquering the fear of creating rather than trying to make something that's perfect. So I hope that makes sense to you. But let's start by walking through the 5 things that I'm thinking about as I go through this EP. All right, so number 1. I've tried to make music for about 15 years now. When I started first writing songs, obviously they were all just super basic and super, crappy. But I've been writing songs since I was a kid. And one of the things that always has stopped me from putting out music in the past is that I feel like I have too many options. And so for me, the number one thing that I knew that I had to do was to limit myself. Limitations, it sounds like a punishment. It sounds like something that's going to be harder on you. But I believe that actually limitations free you into what you want to do. And so for me, the limitations that I'm putting on myself are, first of all, I have 2 weeks to finish this EP. So I'm going to record, mix everything, this EP in 2 weeks, and it's going to go out New Year's Eve. For some of the songs, they'll go out even before on our Patreon and stuff like that. And then for equipment, I put my limitation at 2 things. So I can only use an acoustic guitar for this album, and I can only use my voice for this album. So I can't use any keys, I can't use any bass, I can't use any electric, I can't use any drums. And the reason why I did this is because I know that, I know from past times that I've tried to put out music, I always get stuck in something. So, the drums aren't quite right, and so I need to re-record them, but then I never have time to go re-record them, or, I try to add in a bass line, but it just doesn't fit right, and I need to rewrite that whole part of the song, and it doesn't all mix well together, or it's taking too much time to record, so then I get lazy. There's a million things that could happen, but because I put limitations on myself, I know exactly what I need to do. And so for these 6 songs that I'm doing for the EP, I've recorded an acoustic track, I've recorded my voice, and then I add on top of that by adding acoustic layers or vocal layers, and kind of adding to it that way. And so for me, it's been freeing. It's been a liberation to be able to know exactly what I need to do, and to be able to make everything kind of work together quickly. Because, like I said, I only have like 2 weeks to do this EP, so I need to get it done quickly. All right, well, moving on to number 2, kind of goes hand in hand with number 1, but that is simplicity. Simplicity is extremely important. Whether that's from a songwriting aspect, or it's in a playing aspect, or even a mixing aspect. I want everything to be as simple as possible. For me, it creates this simplistic mindset where you go from A to B to C and then you're done, right? It helps me to focus myself and to be more efficient in that, so that I'm not spending 12 hours on a track trying to get it where I need to get it. And that limits me as well to what plugins I can use and all of that stuff. So I'm adding some EQ, I'm adding some reverb, I'm adding some compression, but I'm really staying pretty tightly to those 3 things, really. Just the basics of what mixing is. I don't want to add too much stuff and make it something that is overbearing, I think is the right word. And so simplicity is the second one. All right, so number 3, one of the things that I really want to showcase in this EP is to really prove to myself and to show people that I'm a good writer. Again, I'm not saying that out of pride, but I think that that's where my skill really lies. I don't think that I'm the world's best guitarist. I don't think that I'm the world's best mix engineer or even recording engineer. All of that stuff I fall short with most times, but I really want to show excellence in what God has given me the skills to do. And so for me, songwriting is a really big part of that. Every song that I've written for this EP, a lot of them I've written a long time ago. Some of them I'm finishing now to really get them ready for the EP. If something is not up to par, I do want to push it as far as I can go, making sure that I'm doing things that would be pleasing to God. I mean, for me, I get really, really frustrated whenever I see Christian artists that think they have a good song just because it has a verse of the Bible in it, or just because it says the name of God. And for me, I really want my songs to be good songs, not just good Christian songs. I want there to be an excitement about worship when people hear my songs, an excitement about who God is, or who God has created them to be. I think that's super important for me, and I really want to show people that excellence, because God has created us to be good, to be excellent. Christians really should be the best artists in the planet. I really, really, truly believe that Christians should be the ones that are showing creativity the most, because our God is a creative God. He created everything. And so as a Christian creative, it's really, really important for me to have that excellence. All right, number 4. Number 4 is extremely important. And I think the best way to sum it up is knowing when to walk away. So there's 2 kind of sections to this. One, you need to know when to walk away from a mix or from a recording if you've just been sitting there for too long. So if you're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours listening to the same mix over and over and over and over and over again, your ears can get tired. First of all, your mind gets tired. You lose track of where you are in the mix and where you've come from. And so I think it's really important to walk away, let the mix sit, go do something else, get your mind off of it completely. And then when you're ready, you can come back, listen to the mix, and you'll have a way clearer idea of what you need to do. And so I think that's extremely important when you're mixing. But also, the second part of it is know when to walk away when it's done. And so this is a hard thing in music, because for me, I can be working on a song for 10 years, plus. I have worked on songs for 5 or 6 years at a time. You have to be ready to walk away whenever that is, whenever you feel like it's good enough. For me, I've put limitations on myself to make sure that I walk away, right? Because I've had a tendency in the past just to stick there and not to walk away. And so for me, the limitation is time. December 31st, these songs are going to go out. They have to be ready. That's when I'm going to walk away, because it's really hard for me to walk away from something if I don't have a deadline. I want to keep on working on it. I want to keep on making it better if I can. So yeah, know when to walk away. All right, so the last one, number 5, is accepting that things will not be perfect. I've been singing for most of my life. I kind of see myself as a pretty good singer. But there are times when, I'm listening to a mix and I'm like, man, that one note, if that one note could just be like a little bit sharper, a little bit flatter, just trying to get it just right on the edge of what I need. And it's just a little bit off. And so I'll re-record it and I'll try it again, but then I'll find another spot where it's just a little bit off and it's just super annoying to me. And I get that. I totally get that. Whatever it is, there are these small imperfections that we all see in all of our work, whatever it is, whether it's video work or music or art, whatever it is, you're always going to find imperfections, especially in your own work. I'm learning this, and this is why I'm sharing these things. I'm learning how to accept that things will not be absolutely perfect, especially since I'm recording in this room. I'm, doing the mixing myself. I don't have a degree in any of this. I know music theory and I know how to sing and how to play guitar, but I don't know how to mix. I don't know how to record super well. I'm just learning that stuff, and I'm, watching YouTube videos trying to figure it out. I really have to learn to accept that things are just not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And people are still going to love it anyways. Some of those mistakes are even going to be the things that people love the most about it. I guess we'll see. When the EP comes out, you guys tell me if you notice any weird things in there, and maybe we can chat about it. This is going to be an important one for a lot of creatives, because if you give yourself the permission to fail, then it gives you so many more paths to success. Just continue to walk the road. Continue to see what God wants to do with you in your creative path. All right, guys. Well, that's my 5 things that I'm thinking about as I'm going through recording and mixing my EP. I'm really struggling with a lot of these things at the moment. Trying to figure out exactly how to do an EP in 2 weeks is kind of hard, but I'm doing my best, and I'm going to put forth the best work that I possibly can, and I hope you guys like it. The EP is called Araya. For you guys who've stuck around to the end of the video, I'll kind of tell you a little bit backstory on that. So ever since I was in middle school, I used to do this thing with my hands where I would hold them out in front of me on my desk or whatever, and I would have my thumbs trace my palms. And then I realized one day that my palms, kind of spelled out a word, A-R-E-L-A. And I looked it up, and it's actually a Hebrew word, which is really interesting. And I just had this feeling that it was going to be important for whatever reason. And so, I looked it up. It's a Hebrew word. It's a girl's name, and it means messenger of God. And so for me, it was like an awesome moment of like God telling me that he loves me and that he has a purpose for my life. And so this EP and possibly other EPs that I put out in the future will have the name Araya. And so I'm going to continue to be a messenger of God, whatever that looks like. And so this music is part of that for me. That's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you want to get some of the tracks early, or if you just want to help me out and support this music journey that I'm on, you guys can always join our Patreon. We've got a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and a $25 tier. And so we'd love to see you guys over there, hang out with us, chat over there. You'll get to vote on specific videos that we make, and you'll also just get some extra goodies from here and there. So thank you guys so much to those who are over on our Patreon. Here are our 5 patrons right here, and we're so happy to have them over there, and it's really a blessing to know that there's people that want to support us and want to support what we're doing here at the Snipe Life. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Or farewell, I'm right here by your side. I'll never leave you behind. My love, don't run, 'cause you are mine. I'm right here by your side. I'll never leave you behind. So please don't run. So please don't run. I'm open-armed, return to me. I've waited for you to notice me. There's nothing between us, and that's all thanks to Jesus. I'm open-armed.